Dr. Amitava Bobby Mitra. He is the founding executive director of the New Engineering Education Transformation Program at MIT, also the founding dean, School of Engineering and Technology at the BML Manjal University in India. And he also holds a PhD in chemical engineering. To kick us off today, would love to hear about your personal path through engineering.
Well, I come from a family of academics, and I sort of grew up assuming that I'd do a PhD, I'd teach, I'd do research. Halfway through my PhD in chemical engineering, I realized that I didn't particularly want to teach, didn't want to do research, didn't want to do chemical engineering, right? So I'm bringing this up to say that there's a lot of pressure on high school students to decide this is exactly what I want to do in college and what I want to be in life. But it takes a while. You need to explore, and that exploration will lead to things that you like doing. So in my case, I was fortunate without much. I taught for about a year, environmental science and engineering, and that convinced me that teaching was not for me. And I was fortunate that I really found what I enjoy doing, which is creating innovative programs in higher education. There are institutions like BML Munjal in India, or programs within institutions like MIT, like the NEET program. And that's how I moved from engineering to education.
A second question. There's a lots of talk today about what's even worth studying in this day and age. So if you were a high school or college student today, what would you choose to learn and engage with extensively now that AI can do so much?
So I think the theme needs to be AI is or will augment human beings and not replace them. That's a very important thing to keep in mind. With AI, the augmentation is phenomenal already, right? But it's not there to replace human beings. So I would say that this combination of human and AI will really help you move forward in life. So what I mean by human is things like interpersonal skills, empathy, critical thinking, creative thinking. These are not things that AI, these are things that AI is not likely to replace, for centuries to come. So one part of it is focus on interpersonal skills, persuasion. I mentioned a few, learn them, practice them, try them out, because that will be, that will stand you in good stead regardless of what career you take on and what your field is. Because whichever field you're in, you need to think critically. The other thing that I want to emphasize is ethical judgment, right? We've heard a lot and we hear a lot about AI and the ethics connected with it. Knowing when not to use AI and knowing when to use AI will be something that you learn as you go along. But it's very important to have that, to learn that, practice that ethical judgment, because that again will make a difference between you, and I'm saying you to the high school students and college students who are on this chat, and other people. What you can learn, other thing that you can learn very specifically is you need to build your AI literacy. So there are AI tools. There's Kyros is a tool, ChatGPT is a tool, Perplexity.ai. If you search on Google or search on any of these AI tools, you'll find a whole list of them. So just as in the, in an earlier generation, learning word processing, Excel and PowerPoint were critical, whether you went into graduate school or started a company or joined a company or an NGO or whatever your interest was. There's a corresponding set of AI tools that you need to learn, practice. And you know this better than I do. I learned this from my children, both of whom fortunately are out of college and in the world of work, that you can learn a huge amount from YouTube. So just search, find the right people and learn from them. I think the other thing that I'm not sure whether this is how well, let's put it this way. I'm not sure how you learn this, but I think the importance of staying flexible is very important, because more and more as an employer, what do we look for? Like, we all make mistakes. Tell me one person who hasn't made a mistake in her life, and I'll congratulate that person. We all make mistakes, but the issue is how do we recover from a mistake? How resilient are we? How flexible are we? Are we willing to listen? So I would say two of the most important skills that are not emphasized as much as they should be in high school as well as in college. One is listening. Very, very important. Took me a long time before I was into my professional career, before I realized it's more important to listen than to keep speaking, right? Even more so when you think you have an answer to something or a solution to something based on your experience, education, background, what have you. Very important to listen. The other thing which is very important is to be able to write. That's again something you can practice on your own.
I
And
love that you said that. I was a former
I mean,
English professor.
I saw this in India. I see this here. I've seen a lot of other universities, travel a lot. We don't encourage writing from middle school onwards. Right? And writing is very important. You don't have to write, literature or poetry. You can if you want to. But the whole thing about writing is you start with the topic, you think about it, you do research, you figure out what you want to say about it, and then you start to write and build up the logical sort of process. So, I mean, I can go on and on, but I think it's very important that you learn and engage with all these things that I'm talking about. Writing and tools are very tangible that you can work on, learn from. And I think finally, the other thing that we don't do as well until we start to work is networking and communities. And a lot of people think that networking is a bad word. Not at all. You really get to know about a community or about a domain. I'll give you an example later on in my presentation of the NEAT program. One of the programs we offer is called autonomous machines, autonomous robotics, right? The students in that program are networked into a variety of AI, robotics, and autonomous communities, regardless of whether they're mechanical engineering, aeroastro, computer science, range of engineering, right? The advantage with networking from an early age is that you really get to explore. One of the things that, again, as a parent and an educator, we tell students, and I was told when I was growing up, find your passion. Having said that, is there a formula to find your passion? No. The best formula that I know, or the best process that I know, is to explore. The more you explore within the structure, not all over the map, the more you explore, the more you discover what you don't like, which is probably more important than what you end up liking. But then it narrows your focus, right? So I think those are the things that I would sort of urge students of today, high school, college, to learn, choose, engage with. And most important, remember, AI is there to augment humanity and human beings, not the other way around.